Are whistleblowers in the UAE private companies legally protected when reporting internal financial fraud? Yes, but the protection is pretty limited and it depends on where and how you report the wrongdoing. So the UAE does not have one single comprehensive whistleblower law for all private sector employees. However, there are some protections in specific situations. So, for example, it's always best to report it through the government channels. So depending on where the company is based, you can report to specific channels, and also depending on where the company is based, you may have more protection under the whistleblower law. So, for example, if you're based, so the company is based in the DIFC, there's the Dubai Financial Services Authority, DFSA. You can report the crime there. If you're in Abu Dhabi Global Markets, that's their own authority, ADJD. And by the way, both DIFC and the ADGM, they have their own whistleblower laws. Or you can report it if the company's on mainland, then you can report, or even other free zones that don't have their own financial laws, such as ADGM or DFC. So that would be the UAE Central Bank. You can report also to the Dubai Police or Economic Crimes, and also the UAE Securities and Commodities Authority. But you're generally, if you report the crimes through these government channels, then you are generally afforded some sort of degree of legal protection from retaliation. And as I mentioned, in the DIFC and the DGM, there are specific whistleblower protection rules that are quite explicit, and then certainly provide specific protection for those who try to report crimes. Now, in terms of reporting these crimes within a company, sort of in private setting, it's the internal whistleblowing management, or so the board. It's not formally protected by the law, so this means that the company can still take employment actions or retaliations unless the employment contract, the internal policies explicitly protect whistleblowers. So it's a little more more challenging in the internal context. And then you can also report fraud that harms the company itself. Your actions generally can be viewed as good faith reporting, therefore in the UAE courts, then that would be sort of deemed as kind of your defense in the event the company terminates you for what it may believe as good cause, but in fact there's a provision in the labor law that provides for additional compensation for those employees who are terminated in retaliation for reporting companies to the specific authority. So there's a little bit of, I guess, additional protection if you report it to the government authorities, to the right channels, and then later on you're terminated. So those are just the kind of the general elements of the whistle protection legal framework in the UAE. It's quite complex and very much depends on where the company is based.